Right, just before we go, just down the River Clyde from our studios here in Glasgow, there is a ship called the MS Ambition, one of two vessels chartered by the Scottish Government to house refugees fleeing the war in Ukraine. They were intended as a temporary measure, but many of the families have now been on board for months, and they could be there for many more. There are 1,120 people on board MS Ambition. The circumstances aren't ideal, but they do have access to shops, to restaurants, and to a state-of-the-art theatre where the ship's young people have made their own. Our arts correspondent Polly McLean was invited aboard for their first talent contest.
Once a cruise ship, HMS Ambition now shelters 1,100 Ukrainian refugees. A temporary haven, but one they're keen to make as pleasant as possible. Today it's the children on board who are leading the entertainment in the ship's theatre. They've been rehearsing for the past month for this talent show led by Olga Vivchar.
Most of children were stressed after the war in Ukraine, and after moving here we thought maybe they need to lower the tension of their emotions.
More than 100 signed up, offering everything from dance to music, gymnastics to poetry. Alexandra is 16 and wrote this poem for her grandmother. She created an artwork for her too.
This is the first my exhibitions, the first my poem in all this time, and but it's a really good opportunity to introduce my art. So I thank you, everyone.
My name is Serena, I'm 15, I'm from Kharkiv, Ukraine. So I also have some paintings on the exhibition, and my poetry is about the war, about what I feel about all this situation and what do I want to say to other people who maybe don't understand something.
This Kyiv ballet company stayed on another refuge ship, the MS Victoria, in Edinburgh while they performed at the festival, and that ship was where the idea of a children's programme was first sown. Joyce Landry oversees both ships as CEO of the cruise ship company Landry and Kling.
We found out after the couple of weeks we were there that there were so many children coming on board. So we saw a lot of opportunity to harness some of the energy of the children, and we wanted to be able to have a program for them. I was walking through the dining room one day, and Natalie was there with her suitcase. She had just arrived, and she said, "Do you know if there's a job on board?" And I said, well, what is it that you do? She says, "Well, I've worked with children." Yes, please. So she became our first director of our first program.
It's very important because children don't know what they must do. For example, we have a girl at the board. She's a ballerina. She starts speak again. She starts laugh again, and she starts dance again. And now she dances every day for us.
Some, like Anastasia, who's 12 but has danced for most of her life, is already enrolled in the Dance School of Scotland. She's no stranger to the spotlight, but she's happy to share the moment with all the other children on the ship. The national children's song, My Name is Ukraine, marks the end of the concert, but not the end of their project. They're already working on a show for St. Nicholas Day, with some of the youngest children on board. And when the ships are no longer required and Ukrainians are able to return home, they hope the work will go on.
We've actually started a non-profit because we want to do this going forward. We don't want this to just end here with this project in Scotland, but to take this elsewhere around the world.
Oh, good on them all. That is it. That's all we got time for this